Have you ever wondered why the deepest pain never really leaves? It just sits there, quietly shaping how you see yourself. It lingers in the silence, in the moments you hesitate, in the things you no longer try for. The pain becomes part of you, buried deep like roots that twisted in places no one else can see. Maybe you've carried wounds for years, pretending you were fine, smiling while breaking on the inside. And maybe you're tired of holding it all together, tired of acting strong when the weight is unbearable. We all carry something, a moment we wish never happened, a word that cut too deep, a hand that never reached back. Life breaks us in ways we don't even recognize until one day we look in the mirror and wonder who we've become. And it's easy to believe that something is wrong with you, that you're weak, that maybe you were never meant to be whole again. But the truth is, pain doesn't mean you're broken beyond repair. It means you've felt deeply, you've cared, lost, and survived. And survival is never a sign of weakness. It's the quiet strength most people will never understand. You see, the world teaches us to hide our pain, to patch it up, to pretend. But what if that pain isn't a curse? It's a seed. What if everything you've buried, every hurt, every failure, every silent cry was never meant to destroy you, but to prepare the ground for something more? Because underneath the scars, beneath the fear and doubt, there's still life, there's still power, and most of all, there's still hope. Hope doesn't shout. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't look like fireworks or loud victories. Hope whispers. It clings to the broken places. It waits quietly in the dark, and when everything else fades, hope stays. You may not feel it right now, but inside you, beneath the exhaustion, behind the disappointment, something is still alive. That tiny part of you that hasn't given up. The voice that says, keep going. That's hope. That's what this is about. Because if you stay, if you keep listening, you'll discover something most people never learn. Your pain can become the foundation for a life more meaningful than the one you lost. You'll understand why the flower doesn't bloom despite the broken roots, but because of them. You'll realize that what tried to bury you simply planted you. And you're still here. That's not an accident. That's a calling. This isn't about ignoring what you've been through. It's about finally facing it with truth and power. You've been surviving for too long. Now it's time to start rising. Stay with this. Let the truth settle into your bones. You don't need to be fixed. You need to be seen, heard, understood. This is not your ending. It's the place where something new begins, something stronger, something unbreakable. Hope is waiting, and it's about to rise. You've endured storms that threatened to wash you away, yet here you stand, still breathing, still present. That alone is proof of a strength most never recognize in themselves. The world may not have noticed how many times you got up when you wanted to stay down. It might have overlooked the battles you fought silently in your mind, the fears you conquered behind closed doors. But inside you, there is a well of resilience so deep it defies explanation. This resilience is not a simple trait. It's a complex force born in the darkest places where pain and courage collide. Science calls it post-traumatic growth, but it feels like a quiet miracle unfolding within you. It is the slow but unstoppable rebuilding of your spirit, brick by brick. It is the power to transform your wounds into wisdom, your scars into strength. You survive because something inside you refused to let go, refused to believe that your story was over. That something is the invisible strength you must learn to trust. It is your most valuable resource. This strength does not roar. It does not demand applause or recognition. It works quietly, persistently, like roots growing beneath the surface. When life has pushed you to the edge, when despair whispered lies into your ear, that strength kept you anchored. It is the part of you that refused to surrender, that looked fear in the eye and said, not yet. Many never realize that true courage is not the absence of fear, but the choice to move forward in spite of it. You might feel small, broken, or unworthy, but beneath all of that is a force that can move mountains. It starts with a simple decision to believe that you are more than your suffering, to see your pain not as a chain, but as a key. Hope is not a distant dream. It's a seed planted within your very core, waiting to grow. This seed awakens the moment you decide to see your struggles not as walls, but as stepping stones. Every setback, every loss, Every moment of despair carries within it the potential for growth. You have already begun that journey by simply surviving. Now you are invited to nurture that seed, to water it with patience, to protect it with self-compassion, and to give it space to bloom. It takes time, and that's okay. The most powerful changes often begin in silence, away from the spotlight. Your inner strength is a promise that you can rise again, stronger, wiser, more alive. It is the foundation upon which hope grows. When you connect with this truth, the weight of the past begins to lift. You start to see yourself through different eyes, not as broken, but as becoming more resilient, becoming more courageous, becoming a living testament to the power of the human spirit. This invisible strength inside you is real, waiting, ready to ignite a transformation that nothing can stop. Trust it, lean into it, because it is the force that will carry you from surviving to thriving. Your hope is alive, and it is rising. You are not defined by the wounds you carry, nor by the moments when you felt lost and alone. The story you tell yourself about your past shapes the lens through which you see every new day. This narrative can trap you in pain or set you free. When you hold tightly to the identity of someone broken, defeated, or unworthy, you reinforce those chains. But when you consciously choose to rewrite that story, everything changes. Your mind begins to rewire itself, creating new pathways of hope, strength, and possibility. This is not wishful thinking. It is the power of narrative psychology at work. The way you interpret your past influences your emotions, your decisions, and your future. By shifting your inner dialogue, you take control of your healing and your growth. Imagine for a moment that your past hardships are not the full story, but a chapter you have the power to edit. You are not the sum of your mistakes or the labels others placed on you. You are the author of your life, capable of creating a narrative that honors your resilience and your courage. Instead of "I was abandoned," you can say, "I learned how to survive when no one was there." Instead of "I failed," you can tell yourself, "I discovered what doesn't serve me and I'm ready to find what does." These reframes do more than change words. They change how your brain processes your experiences. They weaken the hold of shame and fear and build new foundations of self-respect and hope. This process requires honesty and courage. It asks you to confront uncomfortable truths, to see your pain clearly without letting it consume you. It means recognizing that your past shaped you but does not control you. You get to choose the meaning you assign to your history. Choosing a new story is a radical act of empowerment. It takes back the power that pain tried to steal. It opens the door to freedom and transformation. Every time you shift your perspective, you plant a new seed of possibility in your mind. This seed grows stronger with each positive thought, each act of self-kindness, each moment you refuse to believe the negative voices inside your head. Your brain starts to expect hope instead of despair. You start to see opportunities instead of obstacles. You begin to believe in yourself even when the evidence feels small. Rewriting your story is a daily practice. It's a commitment to notice when old narratives try to pull you back into fear and to choose differently. It's about becoming aware of your thoughts and gently guiding them toward truth and strength. This work is not easy, but it is deeply rewarding. It reconnects you to your worth and your potential. It makes hope not just a feeling, but a force you can summon whenever you need it. You are not trapped by what happened to you. You are free to create a new truth, one that holds space for pain and healing, for loss and growth, for brokenness and beauty. Your story is still being written, and every moment offers a chance to write it with courage and hope. The power to change your life is already in your hands. It begins with the stories you tell yourself. Choose those stories wisely, or choose hope. True healing begins when you stop running from the parts of yourself you've tried to hide. The broken roots, the painful memories, the doubts you bury deep. These are not weaknesses to fear or reject. They are pieces of your whole self waiting to be acknowledged. Real strength comes not from pretending to be unshakable, but from facing your shadows with courage. There is a power in sitting with discomfort, in allowing yourself to feel what you have long avoided. The deeper you go into your pain, the more space you create for healing to enter. Avoidance only gives pain more control. Acceptance takes it away. Embracing your darkness is not about giving up or resigning to suffering. It's about understanding that growth often happens in the hidden, uncomfortable places within you. The roots of a flower grow strong in the dark earth, unseen and unsupported by sunlight. Similarly, your inner strength is nourished by the moments you confront your fears instead of hiding from them. This process rewires your brain and calms the emotional storms that have held you hostage. When you allow yourself to truly feel, you break the cycle of avoidance, which is often mistaken for strength. True resilience is born from vulnerability, not denial. You don't have to fight your emotions to be powerful. You have to face them. Your fear, anger, sadness, and shame are not enemies. They are signals calling for your attention. When you listen instead of suppress, you disarm their grip on your life. This transforms pain from a prison into a teacher. Each time you meet your inner struggles with openness, you weaken their hold and strengthen your spirit. This is the essence of emotional intelligence, knowing that power lies in awareness and acceptance, not control or repression. Healing also requires patience with yourself. Growth is not linear. There will be setbacks, days when the past feels louder, and moments when hope seems distant. This is normal and expected. What matters is your commitment to keep returning to yourself again and again with kindness. Each time you choose to face your darkness, you create new pathways toward light. These small acts of bravery accumulate, building emotional resilience over time. The broken roots you carry are not dead. They are the foundation of a new, deeper strength. You are more than your pain. You are more than your fears. You are a whole person capable of embracing the full spectrum of your humanity. When you stop fighting the shadows, you invite wholeness. You create space for growth that is authentic and lasting. This is not a quick fix or a temporary escape. It is a profound transformation that honors your past and empowers your future. The courage to sit with your pain is a radical act of self-love. It signals the end of hiding and the beginning of true healing. When you embrace your brokenness without shame, you set yourself free. You become the gardener of your soul, tending to every root, every wound, and every seed of hope. The flower you will grow will not be fragile. It will be fierce because it grew from the darkness and rose toward the light on its own terms. This is your power. This is your rise. Falling is part of life. It is inevitable. But rising again, that is where true power lies. The moment you decide to stand, no matter how many times you have been knocked down, you reclaim control. Action births hope. It breathes life into the parts of you that fear might have buried. The mind often waits for feelings to align perfectly before we take steps forward, but hope does not wait for the perfect moment. Hope is built through movement. When you push through discomfort, even the smallest act of courage rewires your brain. It creates momentum that carries you beyond the grip of fear and doubt. You don't have to feel ready to rise. The truth is, readiness is a myth. Waiting for the right emotion or the perfect circumstance often traps us in inaction. But every step you take, no matter how hesitant, is a declaration. You will not be defined by your failures. This act of moving forward, even when terrified, signals your brain that survival is possible. It releases chemicals that reduce anxiety and increase confidence. Each small victory ignites the next. You build an invisible chain of courage, link by link, stronger than any setback. Fear does not disappear when you act. It accompanies you, a shadow reminding you that growth requires stepping into the unknown. But fear's presence does not mean you are weak. It means you are alive and stretching beyond your comfort zone. The key is to act despite fear, not because fear is gone. When you choose courage over comfort, you send a powerful message to your subconscious. You are in control of your life. This message rewires limiting beliefs and opens new pathways for success. Action fuels belief. It turns hope from a fragile idea into a living force. When you start doing, even imperfectly, you disrupt the cycle of despair. Movement shakes loose old patterns of defeat and plants new seeds of confidence. This is how transformation happens, step by step, choice by choice. It is not about giant leaps, but consistent, brave steps forward. Each one builds on the last, creating a foundation that supports your rise. You have more power than you realize. Inside you is a reservoir of untapped strength waiting for your permission to flow. The courage to act, even in small ways, unlocks this strength. It brings light to the darkest corners of doubt and despair. It reminds you that your broken roots are not a curse, but the starting point for growth. When you move forward, you honor your pain by refusing to be defeated by it. Rising again is a daily commitment. It requires patience and persistence. Some days you may only manage one small step. That is enough. Each step counts. Each time you choose to rise, you feed the roots of hope growing inside you. This hope is not passive, it is fierce. It pushes you forward, fuels your journey, and reminds you that no matter how many times you fall, you always have the power to stand again. The choice to rise is your declaration to the world and to yourself that you are unstoppable. Growth requires release. Holding on to old pain, grudges, or identities that no longer serve you is like trying to plant new seeds in soil already crowded with weeds. The past clings tightly because it is familiar, even when it causes suffering. Letting go is not forgetting or pretending that pain didn't happen. It is the courageous act of freeing yourself from the weight that holds you back. When you release what no longer belongs to your future, you create space for hope to take root and flourish. Our brains are wired to resist change because it feels unsafe. Holding on to familiar pain may seem like protection, but it is often a prison. Emotional clutter, old regrets, toxic relationships, unhealed wounds clouds your mind and drains your energy. You cannot fully grow or thrive until you clear this clutter. This process of letting go is deeply psychological and emotional. It involves forgiveness, not for others, but for yourself. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks your chains. It is the gift you give to your soul so it can breathe again. Letting go also means surrendering control over what you cannot change. It means accepting that some things are beyond your power, and that's okay. Trying to control the uncontrollable only traps you in frustration and despair. When you release the illusion of control, you reclaim your power. You become free to focus on what you can change, your mindset, your actions, your choices. This shift opens doors to new possibilities that were hidden behind resistance. The practice of letting go is a radical act of self-love. It honors your journey and respects your need for peace. It does not happen overnight. It is a gradual unburdening. Each moment you choose to forgive, to release anger, to stop blaming, you loosen the grip of the past. You create room for healing. You tell yourself that your worth is not tied to old mistakes or pain. This liberation feeds your soul and clears the way for new growth. Emotional release is not weakness, it is strength. It shows that you are ready to move forward. When you let go, you are not losing yourself. You are finding yourself. You are shedding the heavy layers that no longer fit. This freedom invites hope to grow deeper and stronger. It is the fertile ground where resilience takes root and blossoms. The flower you will become needs space to grow, space that can only come when you release what weighs you down. Your future is waiting, but it cannot bloom while you clutch the past. Letting go does not erase your story. It rewrites it with grace and courage. It turns pain into a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. When you release, you make room for light, for joy, for purpose. You prepare yourself to rise with new strength and clarity. The choice to let go is a powerful declaration that you are ready to live fully, free from the chains of yesterday. It is your invitation to embrace the life you deserve, one rooted in hope and rising from broken roots. True confidence does not arrive fully formed. It grows quietly from the choices you make every day, even when no one is watching. The belief in yourself that you long for is built through consistent small wins, repeated acts of courage that chip away at doubt and build a new foundation beneath your feet. This self-belief is not a gift granted to a lucky few. It is a skill cultivated by those who refuse to be defined by their failures. It starts in silence, in moments where you choose to try again despite fear, to speak your truth despite uncertainty, to stand tall despite past hurts. Your brain is wired to respond to experience. When you prove to yourself that you can overcome challenges, no matter how small, you begin to change how you see your own potential. These successes create a positive feedback loop. Each win fuels the next. Each act of belief reinforces your capacity for more. This process rewires negative thought patterns and quiets the inner critic that tells you you're not enough. The more you practice believing in your ability to face life's challenges, the stronger and more unshakable your confidence becomes. Self-belief is not about perfection. It is about embracing your humanity, flaws, fears, and all, and still moving forward with faith in your worth. It is the quiet voice that says, "I am capable," even when the evidence feels thin. It is the resilience to keep going when the world doubts you, and the compassion to forgive yourself when you stumble. This belief anchors you in truth when life's storms try to pull you into despair. Building self-belief requires nurturing. It grows from practices that remind you of your strength and worth. Affirmations, reflection, and setting achievable goals all contribute to reinforcing a positive self-image. Your actions must align with your new identity. Each choice to care for yourself, to set boundaries, to pursue growth strengthens your roots. Over time, these habits become your new normal, and your confidence deepens naturally. The inner critic will always be present, but you have the power to change its voice. You can learn to listen to it with kindness instead of fear. When doubt arises, respond with truth. When fear whispers you're not enough, remind yourself of every moment you showed courage. This dialogue transforms your relationship with yourself, shifting it from one of judgment to one of support. You become your own greatest ally. Self-belief is not static, it evolves with you. As you face new challenges and rise each time, your confidence adapts and strengthens. It becomes a force that propels you forward, fuels your dreams, and sustains your hope. This belief is the soil where your hope will grow tall and strong. You do not need to wait for proof to believe in yourself. Belief is the proof. It is the foundation upon which every transformation begins. When you nurture your self-belief, you plant seeds of hope that will rise from your broken roots. This belief is your silent power, your unshakable truth, and your promise to yourself that no matter what, you are enough, you are capable, and you will rise. Feeling invisible, unworthy, or forgotten is one of the heaviest burdens a soul can carry. The weight of broken roots can convince you that your life no longer matters, that your presence is meaningless, and your pain is a waste. But your worth is not tied to achievements, appearances, or the approval of others. It exists simply because you exist. Intrinsic value is not earned, it is inherent. You are worthy of love, respect, and hope, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. This truth is often buried beneath layers of doubt and hurt, but it is unshakable once you begin to recognize it. When life breaks you, it can feel like the world has forgotten you, like your voice is drowned out by the noise of others' successes. But your survival itself is a testament to your value. The fact that you have endured storms, that you have carried burdens no one else sees, means you are more than your struggles. You matter deeply, even when it feels like no one is watching. This understanding fuels a fundamental shift, from seeking worth outside to discovering it within. It changes your relationship with yourself and the world. Meaning and purpose become anchors in moments of despair. When hope feels fragile, purpose keeps you grounded. You don't have to find grand missions or monumental goals. Often, purpose lives in the smallest acts: kindness to yourself, persistence in the face of difficulty, choosing to rise one more time. These seemingly small choices ripple outward, reminding you that your life matters in ways you cannot always see. Each act of courage is a declaration that you are still here and that your existence holds meaning. Feeling invisible does not mean you are unimportant. It means you have yet to fully see the power you carry inside. Your presence affects people, even if quietly. Your journey, your pain, your resilience, all these contribute to a unique light that only you can shine. When you embrace your worthiness, you break free from the loneliness of invisibility. You begin to claim your space in the world, not by shouting louder, but by standing firmer in who you are. This shift rewires the brain's response to rejection and abandonment. Instead of internalizing these experiences as proof of unworthiness, you start to view them as challenges overcome. The sense of belonging and value becomes self-generated, no longer dependent on external validation. This internalization builds emotional resilience and nurtures hope's growth. Your worth is not diminished by your broken roots. It is magnified by the courage it took to survive them. Remember, the flower rises not despite its broken roots, but because those roots gave it a foundation to grow. Your existence is a powerful testament to the human spirit's capacity to endure and transform. You matter. You are needed. You are enough. This is your truth. Hold it close and let it be the light that guides you through every shadow. To rise from broken roots, you must plant yourself in something deeper than pain. Growth requires a foundation stronger than fear, anger, or doubt. This foundation is built on values, core beliefs that guide your actions and give your life meaning. When your choices align with these values, you create an inner stability that no external circumstance can shake. Values act as emotional anchors, holding you steady through life's storms and giving your hope fertile ground to grow. Living according to your values means deciding what matters most to you: truth, kindness, courage, growth, or something uniquely yours, and allowing those principles to lead your life. This clarity creates purpose. Purpose gives you a reason to get up every day, even when hope feels distant. It transforms survival into living. When you root your life in values, you stop reacting to pain and start responding with intention. You become the gardener of your soul, tending to what nourishes you rather than what drains you. Psychology shows that people who live by their values experience deeper satisfaction and resilience. They are less likely to be swayed by momentary setbacks because their identity is anchored in something lasting. This does not mean life becomes easy. Challenges will still come. But when you are rooted in your values, your hope is not fragile. It is fierce. It withstands failure, criticism, and loss because it is supported by the strength of who you are becoming. Identifying your values requires deep reflection. It asks you to look beyond surface desires and connect with what truly matters at your core. This reflection is a powerful step towards self-awareness, a key to emotional freedom. When you know your values, you can make decisions that align with your authentic self rather than old fears or societal pressures. This alignment is healing. It nurtures self-trust and ignites motivation. Once you have planted these roots, nurture them daily. Create rituals that remind you of your values and your hope. Small actions, journaling your intentions, speaking affirmations, practicing gratitude, strengthen the connection between your mind and your purpose. These daily habits become the soil where hope grows tall and unshakable. This process transforms you from a passive survivor into an active creator of your life. You reclaim your narrative by choosing how to live, not just how to endure. Your broken roots become a testament to your resilience, and your values become the trunk of a mighty tree reaching toward the sky. The flower of hope rises not in spite of your brokenness, but because you rooted yourself in truth and purpose. You are building a life that reflects your deepest truths. This life will not be perfect, but it will be authentic and powerful. Your hope grows stronger every day because it is nourished by values that cannot be broken. You are not just rising, you are thriving. The foundation you lay now will carry you through every storm, lighting the way from broken roots to blossoming life. Hope is not fragile. It is fierce. It is the quiet force that pushes you to bloom when every part of you feels crushed. It is the breath in your lungs when you think you have none left. Hope is not a distant dream or a wish upon a star. It is the decision to rise again and again, no matter what tries to hold you down. This strength is forged in brokenness. The roots you think have failed you are the very source of your power. When life has torn you apart, it feels easier to give up than to keep fighting. But hope is the rebellious choice to stand against that despair. It is a stubborn light in the darkest night. This light does not always shine brightly. Sometimes it flickers, uncertain and fragile. But even the smallest flame can illuminate a path forward. Hope refuses to be extinguished because it knows something you might forget. Your story is not over. Your broken roots are not the end. They are the ground where new life begins. The act of hoping is not passive. It demands courage, action, and faith. It requires you to believe in the unseen and the possible. Neuroscience reveals that hope activates parts of the brain linked to motivation and goal setting. When you nurture hope, your brain becomes wired to seek solutions, to imagine a better future, and to take steps toward it. Hope is the engine of transformation. Without it, despair tightens its grip. With it, you become unstoppable. Hope also connects you to something greater than yourself. It links you to a future you cannot yet see, but deeply feel. This connection is vital because it fuels perseverance. When hope roots itself in your heart, you are willing to endure hardship because you believe in the value of your journey. You find meaning in the struggle, and your pain becomes part of a larger purpose. Hope is a choice you make every day. It is choosing to keep going when every excuse says stop. It is finding the strength to try again when failure whispers you're done. It is the voice inside you that says this is not the end. Choosing hope is a radical act of defiance against the forces that want to keep you down. It is a declaration that you will rise no matter the cost. Your broken roots do not define your limits, they define your resilience. From them, hope grows wild and free. It is not a fragile flower waiting for perfect conditions. It is a fierce bloom breaking through concrete. This hope is your power. It is your promise to yourself that no matter how deep the darkness, light will rise. You are not broken beyond repair. You are broken and becoming whole. The flower is growing. It is rising. And so are you. Transformation begins when you stop waiting for permission to heal. Too often we pause, expecting the right moment, the perfect conditions, or someone else's approval to start rising. But healing is not a negotiation. It is a personal revolution that begins with one choice: to reclaim your power now. The seeds of change are planted the moment you decide you deserve more than pain and limitation. This choice is an act of courage that breaks the cycle of waiting and moves you from victim to victor. You have already proven your strength by surviving. Now it's time to harness that strength and transform it into growth. Transformation requires honesty, a fearless look at your wounds without shame or denial. It asks you to acknowledge what hurt you and how it shaped your thoughts and behaviors. This awareness is not a burden, it is a breakthrough. It gives you control over your story, allowing you to rewrite it on your terms. You are not bound by your past. You are empowered by your awareness. The brain is plastic. It changes and adapts with every new thought and action. When you choose transformation, you activate this incredible capacity for renewal. Each moment of self-awareness, each intentional act of growth, reshapes your neural pathways. Negative patterns weaken, and new, healthier ones form. This biological process mirrors your inner journey, breaking old habits to create space for new possibilities. Transformation is both mental and emotional. It is the integration of pain and hope into a new identity. This process requires patience and persistence. Change does not happen overnight. There will be setbacks and moments of doubt. These are not signs of failure, but evidence of growth. Each challenge you face offers an opportunity to deepen your resilience and commitment. Transformation honors your humanity by allowing you to fall and rise repeatedly, stronger each time. It is a continuous cycle of becoming, never a final destination. Your broken roots do not hold you back, they ground you. They remind you where you started and fuel your drive to grow beyond. The cracks in your foundation are not weaknesses, but openings for light and life to enter. You are not starting from zero, you are starting from experience. Your pain is the soil that nourishes your transformation. From this fertile ground, you grow into your fullest self, more vibrant and whole than before. Transformation demands that you embrace both your light and shadow. It invites you to be authentic, accepting all parts of yourself without judgment. This wholeness is the source of true power. When you are aligned with your authentic self, your actions become purposeful and your hope